In the wake of the recent election, America faces a turning point that has millions anxious about the future. With Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, and a Republican-controlled government claiming victory over the House, Senate, and Presidency, many fear an era of unrestrained, far-right policies that could shift the nation's balance of power. But in this moment of uncertainty, there remains a powerful beacon of hope: the justice system. A new legal strike strategy proposed by legal experts and progressive leaders aims to act as the front line in the fight against potential authoritarian overreach. Using federal and state court systems, this approach seeks to counteract the anticipated erosion of civil liberties, maintain checks on executive power, and ensure that the principles of democracy are upheld. This video will delve into how progressive attorneys, state attorney generals, and Democratic-leaning courts are positioned to resist Trump's administration. Through innovative use of the legal system, they can defend essential freedoms, from reproductive rights to immigration policies. Let's explore this comprehensive legal strategy, designed not only to counter the Trump agenda but to reinvigorate democratic principles in the United States. Part 1. The role of the courts in resisting executive power. Since the early days of Trump's political ascent, courts have played a critical role in mediating his agenda. Federal judges, appointed for life, are less susceptible to immediate political pressure, allowing them to act as an essential check on power. The upcoming strategy hinges on harnessing the influence of state attorney generals and leveraging favorable judicial circuits, such as the Ninth, Second, and Third Circuits, which tend to align with progressive and democratic principles. By advancing strategic cases, these legal players can bring critical matters to the attention of the courts and potentially all the way up to the Supreme Court. Federal courts as a buffer against authoritarian power. Under Trump's administration, we're likely to see efforts that challenge fundamental rights such as freedom of the press, the right to protest, and protections for marginalized communities. Federal courts, particularly those with progressive judges, will be vital in reviewing executive orders and legislative actions that might otherwise bypass traditional checks and balances. Democratic state attorneys are expected to lead this charge by initiating suits that question the constitutionality of Trump's policies. Consider, for instance, immigration laws. If Trump's government attempts to impose a harsh anti-immigration stance nationwide, state attorneys from Democratic-leaning states like New York, New Jersey, and California could challenge these policies in court, arguing that they violate constitutional rights or state sovereignty. By focusing on liberal-leaning circuits like the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which frequently hears cases from the West Coast, progressives can keep their cases in jurisdictions known for upholding civil rights. State Attorneys General, the progressive vanguard. Attorneys General, AGs, from Democratic states have vowed to resist any attempt to dismantle key protections. By filing lawsuits that challenge Trump's policies on constitutional grounds, AGs can leverage both state and federal laws to stall or stop initiatives that threaten rights. This strategy was seen previously when California and other blue states took on Trump's environmental rollbacks, arguing that the EPA's deregulation policies posed a public health risk. In this new era, Democratic AGs can be instrumental in blocking restrictive abortion policies and safeguarding marriage equality, reproductive rights, and other freedoms potentially under threat. The court system, in essence, becomes the primary tool of resistance, holding the executive branch accountable and safeguarding democracy. Part 2. Building a coalition through non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and public interest groups. Beyond the courts, the involvement of NGOs and public interest groups will amplify the resistance movement. Organizations like the ACLU, Southern Poverty Law Center, and Planned Parenthood have historically led legal battles in defense of civil liberties. Now, they are positioned to partner with Democratic AGs to bring powerful cases against the Trump administration. These groups not only have legal expertise but also the backing of the public, which can create immense pressure on the administration. Strategic lawsuits and grassroots mobilization. By coordinating with these groups, the Democratic Legal Coalition can ensure that lawsuits target high-impact issues that resonate with the American public. When Trump's policies infringe upon basic rights, like privacy or healthcare access, NGOs can work with state AGs to file suits that challenge these laws in progressive circuits. A significant example includes Planned Parenthood's continued legal battles to defend abortion access, which may face unprecedented threats. In addition to legal action, public interest groups will engage in grassroots mobilization, using media channels to keep Americans informed. Transparency and accountability become critical here. By shedding light on Trump's actions and their implications, these organizations can create an informed electorate that supports resistance efforts. Part 3. Federal Circuit Courts and Strategic Legal Pathways. Navigating the court system strategically is crucial for this legal strike. Trump-aligned Republicans have often turned to favorable courts in states like Texas and Louisiana to pursue conservative agendas. Progressives, in turn, can file cases in circuits known for supporting liberal and constitutionalist interpretations of the law, including the First, Second, Third, and Ninth Circuits, as well as the D.C. Circuit. By flooding these circuits with cases that question the legality of Trump's initiatives, the resistance can make it more difficult for policies to be implemented nationwide. This approach also increases the likelihood that cases will reach the Supreme Court, where recent decisions indicate a strong stance on maintaining judicial independence. Establishing precedent, the ripple effect of legal wins. When progressive attorneys win key cases, these victories establish legal precedents that can ripple across the country. This strategy is crucial in safeguarding not only immediate freedoms, but also the long-term legal landscape of the United States. By winning cases in circuits that support their cause, they strengthen the foundation for future resistance and prevent the conservative agenda from making irreversible changes to civil rights. Examples of successful legal precedents. One notable example is the 2018 case where federal courts blocked Trump's travel ban. This win demonstrated how strategic lawsuits could halt even the most ambitious executive actions. Looking forward, progressive attorneys will focus on reproductive rights, environmental protections, and election integrity. If they succeed in establishing precedents in these areas, they create a legal barrier that Trump and his allies would struggle to overcome. Part 4. Congress as the second line of defense. While the court system is the first line of defense, congressional Democrats must also play an active role in resisting harmful policies. Despite being in the minority, Democrats can employ procedural tools to slow down confirmations of judges, cabinet members, and other key positions that Trump may attempt to fill with loyalists. Senate Democrats can utilize the filibuster and other procedural tactics to obstruct nominations and prevent extreme appointments from shaping the judiciary. The power of parliamentary procedure. Through parliamentary tactics like holds, delays, and unanimous consent agreements, Democrats in Congress can effectively slow down or even block nominations. By creating obstacles, they increase the difficulty of Trump filling the courts with ideologues. This legislative pushback complements the work being done in the courts, creating a multi-front resistance effort. Holding Trump's administration accountable. In addition to procedural tactics, congressional Democrats can amplify their resistance by shining a spotlight on the administration's actions. Oversight committees, hearings, and investigations into the administration's behavior can expose malfeasance and mobilize public opinion against the agenda. By making the stakes clear to the American public, congressional Democrats can ensure that opposition to Trump's policies remains high. In this new political landscape, Americans who value democracy and civil rights have found themselves in opposition mode. Yet, this position of resistance is not one of weakness. Rather, it represents a powerful coalition ready to defend American values and freedoms. By utilizing the courts, aligning with public interest groups, and leveraging congressional tools, progressives can effectively counter Trump's agenda and work toward a more equitable society. This legal strike strategy is just the beginning. With federal and state courts, public interest groups, and a mobilized base of supporters, the resistance can safeguard the principles that America was built upon. This battle may be arduous, but the path forward is clear. Protect democracy, uphold the Constitution, and ensure that justice prevails.